Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we just got back from a quick trip to visit family and friends down in Georgia, and it's currently, Jed, how many days until Christmas?
6.
Wait, you just told me it was less than 6.
It's 5 days until we wrap presents.
So it's about 5 days and the rest of today until Christmas. And shocker, we've been spending a lot of money on travel and on gifts. And so we don't have a lot of money in our grocery budget right now. So I'm gonna try and make as many meals as I can. I'm gonna give myself like maybe $25 to go to the store and get things like milk, greens, and stuff like that I'm gonna need. But I'm going to start by shopping my freezer and my pantry. And I do this all the time, but I'm really gonna limit myself today in my meal planning to what we have on hand. And I thought that it would be helpful to take you along, and I'll show you what we have on hand and then how I turn that into a menu plan for the next week, basically until the end of the month. So, and I'll share my menu, all my recipes and things down in the video description below. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm gonna do is print off my kitchen essentials checklist, because it's just a really easy way for me to make a list of what I have on hand so that I can use that and turn it into meal ideas. Y'all don't mind my messy desk. This is pre-Christmas busyness. I'm going to go ahead and print off my kitchen essentials list. Okay, so you can see my essentials checklist, and I'm just going to show you. I always do 2 per page. You could also make it 2-sided, and that way you're only using one piece of paper. And this, you're gonna see it in a minute when I go through it, but this is basically it. It's just all the things that I usually keep on hand, and then once I go through there, I'll be able to figure out what meals I can make. Jack, tell me how many potatoes I have.
Right up ahead, and I'm about 30. You
Yeah,
have,
what kind of potato?
you have 5.
Are they all russets?
Yeah, no,
Okay, I need to know specifically everything that I have.
Not so much.
you only have these.
Which are russets?
Those are russets. I only have those. How many of those do I have?
Your face?
That's good.
Olives. Fanta.
That's mine.
A little bit of yogurt.
Yeah.
Clementines.
Oh, well, there's 2 more in there.
1 container of barbecue.
I did it last time.
Some sausages.
Would you like it?
Breakfast sausage.
That's that thing that you said was questionable?
What?
Is that open package?
Yeah. I don't know what they like. Maybe that's one. Look at me. No scratch for this one. Bacon crumbles. 2 strips of bacon.
Just 2?
That's correct. That's it. One
What's that say?
half of a kielbasa. Almost no brick of cheese. Frozen fish. Ocean fish.
Ocean fish?
Yeah.
Oh.
Joker, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
ocean fish.
2 sausages.
Wait.
2 packages.
2 packages of sweet Italian sausage?
Yes, sir. Blueberries, mostly full. Walnuts, 3/4 full. More ocean fish.
It's kind of crazy. Like, I'm not even worried about the mess, because it's real life. And we just got back, like I said yesterday, from our trip. So I'm just trying to get all my ducks in a row today and get everything straightened up. So my husband helped me with the fridge and freezer, and now I'm just going through. This is where I keep all my dry, like, pantry pasta, nuts, seeds, things like that. And then I have like an overflow down in the basement. If you want to see a tour of my kitchen, how I have everything stored and organized in our kitchen, it's not super big. I'll link that video down below. So I'm just going to keep filling out this, and then, okay guys, I actually feel like this is a little unfair because we actually have a whole lot on hand. So this is going to be a little bit less of a like scraping the bottom of the barrel meal plan, and more of this is what we have on hand, and this is how I'm going to make it into a meal plan. I think I should be able to, there's a couple things that I need to get, like onions, milk, and greens. But other than that, I should pretty much be good. Okay, so basically, my husband he's got 2 deer, so we have a ton of venison. I've got, these are freezer meals, chicken pot pie, kung pao chicken, and then I have 2 lentil sloppy joes. We have a pot roast that a chuck roast that I already bought for Christmas, so that's what we're gonna have for Christmas. Half a ham that I got from Costco, sweet Italian sausage, 3 chicken breasts, some corn, a package of broccoli, peas, and then this is just everything that's in my freezer upstairs. I do need to get some flour and some bread flour, and then doing pretty good. You can see everything else that we have. I think we have enough to get us through the rest of the year. So it's a little over a week. We have an entire package of bacon in the freezer, so I'm gonna save that for Christmas morning. Can't brush my hair. Nope. Ah! Brush your hair. Yeah. Don't push the button. You gonna let mommy do her video? My husband is taking all the kids downstairs, so that's really helpful. So I started this whole process of, yeah, except for this kid. I started the whole process of planning my meals and showing you guys kind of like the first steps of going through the freezer and fridge and writing down what I have. It's been a couple days since I started the process. We've had a couple busy days. This little one got sick last night, so I pushed the end of this video out a little bit, but I've had the chance now to go to Costco and to Whole Foods, and I spent a little bit more than I was originally planning, but with the holidays and with like holiday meals and holiday baking, there were some things that I needed to get. So from, let's see, from Costco, I got a bag of Power Greens. Now it says Power Greens, like if you watch my videos, see my recipes, you know that I use them all the time. It's a mix of spinach, kale, and Swiss chard, and I love having them on hand. I put them in everything from smoothies to my enchiladas that I'm going to be making, to like breakfast casseroles. Really, I just use it for a lot of different things. So I really don't like being out of those. So I got Power Greens. We got some milk. I ended up spending a little bit more at Costco simply because we got some sparkling water, some Pellegrino. We got coffee. We always get coffee at Costco. And what was the other thing? Butter. I get unsalted butter from Costco. It's a really good price. It's like 4 pounds for like $10 or $11. And with the baking, like I have 1 pound already in the fridge, but I knew that I would be making cookies and cinnamon rolls and things like that this next week. So I needed more butter. So I went ahead and bought that. And then from Whole Foods, I grabbed some vegetables because I'm not going to go without vegetables if I can. And Whole Foods has really great prices on a lot of different things. So there's sweet potatoes. The red potatoes were the best price that I've seen them ever. They were $1 a pound for organic red potatoes, and I wanted those on hand for a couple different recipes. I got some carrots. So this is kind of like my essentials, the things that I really like to have on hand. And all of this pictured was $35. So not too bad. What kind of pushed me a little bit more on Whole Foods was the bread flour. I think they've increased their prices on the bread flour. So the bread flour is usually less than $5. I can't remember exactly, but it was about $6 for that bread flour. So if I had wanted to make another stop, I know that Walmart has it cheaper, but honestly, I just didn't want to do it. So I kind of just sucked it up and paid a little bit more. I always get my all-purpose unbleached flour from Whole Foods though, because it's like $3 and change for 5 pounds of flour. So anyway, I didn't need to buy any meat because I have a ton. So I had to plan about 12 or 13 dinners to get me through. And then I'll tell you some of the lunches that I plan on making. Okay, so my meals, and I'll just go ahead. This is kind of what I have right here. I used my cookbook to kind of get some inspiration for meals. So several of the recipes are going to be from my cookbook. And then this is just my bullet journal. And it is, guys, it's really making me excited because it's time to do a new bullet journal. But I wrote down breakfast ideas, lunches, and dinners. And then I went ahead, and this is the back of my shopping list. I went ahead and wrote everything down. And I'm just going to share some of that with you to hopefully give you some end of the year meal inspiration and tell you some more of the recipes that you can find on the blog. So one of the things that I did, and I don't usually write like my meals down according to days, but when I have like Christmas Eve and Christmas and some big things coming up, then it's kind of helpful to go ahead and assign meals to days. So last night we used some leftover shredded pork that we usually just smoke our own pork, but I had bought this from Smithfield maybe like a week ago, so it needed to be used, but we used it on making pork nachos. I shared it in my Instagram stories. If you've never made these, it's so good. Just tortilla chips, caramelized onions, shredded like smoked or barbecue pork. Chicken also works well, barbecue chicken. And then just a mix of cheddar and mozzarella cheese and put it under the broiler. Guys, so good. And also top it with plain. You could use sour cream. We never have that on hand. I just use plain homemade Greek yogurt and it's just amazing. Like it's one of the best tasting things ever. So that's what we had last night. Tonight we're having some enchiladas. The recipe for enchiladas is on my blog. I make the sauce in my Instant Pot. It's really easy, and I'm going to use some ground venison instead of ground beef. We've done it before. It works really well. Again, top it with yogurt. It's delicious. Sunday night, I'm going to make the Southwest black bean soup for my cookbook. And this recipe is in the Dump and Go chapter in my cookbook. And I think what we're going to do on Sunday night is drive around and look at the Christmas lights. So I'm going to be able to put all of this in my Instant Pot. And then depending on when we leave, I can use the delayed start feature. And then it'll cook while we are gone. And then we can come home and have some black bean soup. So it's really yummy. Again, Greek yogurt. I like yogurt a lot, and it really makes my kids really like it too. So it really just makes things a lot more kid friendly too. So we're going to have this black bean soup on Sunday and then probably some cheese quesadillas to go with it. The next night, I'm going to just keep things really simple because it's the 23rd, so it's the night before Christmas Eve and then Christmas. So I'm going to use some pot stickers from the freezer. We get Costco's frozen pot stickers, and then just make fried rice in my Instant Pot. I'm going to link all of these recipes down below, but I have a recipe for like a fried rice Instant Pot hack. So it's not the best way to make fried rice, but it is really good and it's really easy. So I'll link that recipe. Christmas Eve, we're having dinner at my husband's parents' house. So she's going to be in charge of that. And she's actually making chicken cacciatore, which is an amazing recipe. Like she's Italian. Her parents are from Italy, first generation over here. Her chicken cacciatore is amazing. I do have a recipe making, it's kind of like her recipe adapted for the Instant Pot. It's really easy. So if you're looking for Instant Pot recipes and you haven't tried that one, I'm going to link it down below. You've got to try it. It's so good. So that's what we're having. I don't have to do anything for Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, like I said, we're doing pot roast, and I'm using the recipe from my cookbook. I already made it last week at my grandmother's house, and it really is just such an easy recipe. One thing that I love, and I shared about this again in my Instagram stories, one thing that I really love about this recipe is that it takes like one cutting board and a knife. Like there's no extra dishes. You just basically, you brown the meat and then you add your mushrooms and stock and red wine and then cook it for, I want to say an hour for 90 minutes. So cook it for 90 minutes. So make sure you start it, well ahead of time. And then you just add your potatoes and carrots. You take your roast out, let it rest. And then while your roast is resting, add your potatoes and carrots and cook it for 5 minutes and then a quick release. It is really, really good. It's really easy, especially on a day like Christmas when you don't want to be in the kitchen a long time because you just want to be enjoying your family and checking out your new gifts and things like that. It's a good one. So that's going to be Christmas Day. And then my mother-in-law is going to bring over her green beans. We don't go a holiday without Clarice's green beans and some rolls and things like that. Okay, and then after Christmas, we're going to have sausage and sweet potato macaroni. That's another recipe from my cookbook. I was really just trying to keep things really simple, use what I had on hand. and not try any new recipes between now and the end of the year. Again, just simple. So sausage and sweet potato macaroni. And then the next day we'll have some kind of Mexican thing, either tacos or burritos, maybe nachos again, but I'd like to go for something different. So tacos or burritos using ground venison, because I don't have any ground meat, but I have a lot of ground venison. Ground beef, I should say. And then speaking of venison, the next day we're going to have venison chili and cornbread. I have a recipe on my blog for a hearty Instant Pot chili and for skillet cornbread. And so I'm just going to sub the ground venison for ground beef, and it's going to be delicious. The next day, Sunday, it's like the 29th or something. I just wrote down like leftovers, easy meal. So if I don't have enough leftovers, we'll have something really easy. And then the last 2 meals of the year, I'm planning on making loaded potato corn chowder. My kids love this. It makes a ton, so we'll definitely have leftovers. But I really love the potato corn chowder because it's basically just stuff from my freezer. And so it's really easy to make. And then on New Year's Eve, I'm going to use that half a ham. I've already said this like a couple times. And I'm going to make the rosemary honey ham from my cookbook, and then collard greens. If you've never had collard greens, New Year's Eve is a good time to make it. I'm gonna make this rosemary honey ham. It's really delicious. And then I have a recipe on my blog for collards that you cook in the Instant Pot. It takes a really long process, makes it really simple, and is really delicious. You guys, my kids they can be picky, they're normal kids. They still eat like seconds and thirds of these collards. They're so good. And so Christmas or New Year's Eve is a traditional time to eat collard greens. So check out that recipe. Again, I'll link it down below. And then probably just some mashed potatoes. As far as lunch ideas, I just have like broccoli cheese soup. I have 1 package of frozen broccoli in my freezer, so I'm going to use that. I have a freezer meal of lentil sloppy joe mix in my freezer, so that's ready to go. So all I need to do for that is either buy some rolls or make some rolls, and we can have that. That recipe is on my blog. Muffins, cheese, ramen noodles, tuna salad. Again, all of these are on my blog. I'm just going with like the things that we usually make. Again, easy meals. And then just the normal like yogurt, oatmeal, cereal, eggs, stuff like that for breakfast. So I hope this was helpful. I haven't done a like meal plan video in a while. So let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the new year, if it's helpful to kind of see my process and then maybe just have some recipe inspiration. So let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And most importantly, I hope that you all have a really wonderful Christmas. We're just a few days away. I'm super excited. And that's it. I'm thankful for you guys, and I will catch you next time.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in all conversations. Cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken. Cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free, oh my sweet baby.